In the last video, we saw what is hypothesis testing and what is null and alternative hypothesis. Here in this video, we will be talking about hypothesis testing steps. So what are the steps which we are going to follow for hypothesis testing? So you'll see that there are so many approaches for hypothesis testing and everything is almost same. But here I will give you the distinction between two approaches. One is classical approach and one is p-value approach. Okay, they are more or less same, but still I will tell you the distinction also. So in case of classical approach, we have divided the region into two parts. One is acceptance region and one is critical region. Okay, how we will find that I'll just tell you in a moment. Okay, and what we do, let us look at the steps of each approach. So the first step is same for both the approaches, classical as well as p-value. So step one is you have to state your null and alternative hypothesis. We have learned this about this in the last video. So this step is same for both the approaches. For example, suppose we have discussed the mean problem. So this is our null hypothesis. Suppose h naught is that mu is equal to mu naught, and this is our alternative hypothesis that mu is not equal to mu naught. Okay, so step one is clear, that we have to define the null and alternative hypothesis for both the approaches. Step two is for both the approaches that you have to set a significance level or a confidence level. So this will be given in your questions, but there are approaches to set also, like we can set the confidence level also, but we will not discuss that. So this will be given. So what is the difference between significance level and confidence level? Confidence intervals we have already studied in the last chapter. So we know that if alpha, we have seen that what is the confidence level is basically, for example, we were talking about 95% confidence level, right? So significance level will be 1 minus confidence level. Okay. So significance, let me write down clearly. Significance level will be 1 minus confidence level. Okay. So we were talking about confidence levels like 95%, 99%. Okay. So significance level will be denoted by alpha. So this will be given. So step 2 is also clear. Nothing to do till now much. Just you have to state your null and alternative hypothesis. Now in step 3, what you will do, because you want to test your hypothesis, so you will work on a sample. So you take a sample of size whatever. I have taken 100 here. That is just an example. You can take any size, sample of size n, and we measure the sample statistics. For example, we are making a claim about the mean. So here we will be finding out x bar, which is the mean of your sample. Okay, so you will get a sample statistics, and it can be a z value or a t value. Like we will convert it into z value or t value depending on what kind of situation we have. For example, we have already seen that x bar minus mu over sigma by square root of n is z distribution. If sigma is not given, then we will be working on x bar minus mu over s upon square root of n. That is a t distribution. So basically you will get a t or z value for your sample. Okay, that is in your classical approach. Let me first finish the classical approach, because after this step the two approaches are different. Now if the above statistics lies in the critical region, you will get a value of statistics from here. I told you we will define the critical and the acceptance region. What will be your critical region? Because alpha is given, so accordingly you will define your critical and acceptance region, because we have seen what is the interval for alpha 1 minus alpha into 100% confidence level, right? So we already know how to define our acceptance and critical regions. So we will do that in the problem also. So if this statistics which you are finding in step 3 that lies in your critical region, then it means that you will reject h naught, because you are away from h naught. H naught means mean is here. Okay, and if this values lies in the acceptance region, then we say that we fail to reject h naught. Okay, so this is for the classical approach. And for the p-value approach, what you are going to do after calculating the statistics, suppose your statistics is here, then what you will do, you will find out the probability that your statistics reaches this far, because this was your assumption that mu should be here, but this is what you get. So you will see that if you assume that h naught is true, what was the probability that you can reach this far. So basically you will find the probability of this tail and this tail, like you are this far away from mean, what is the probability of this tail and this tail? That is called p value. If p value is greater than alpha, it means that when h naught was true, you were expecting this outcome for your sample, because your statistics is here, like your sample tells you this value and you are expecting this value. If this probability is more than alpha, it means that the null hypothesis is true, you will accept null hypothesis. And if this value, this probability is less than alpha, then you will reject your h naught. Does that make sense? So does that make sense? So what we are saying here, that if we assume h naught to be true, your null hypothesis to be true, what is the probability that you will reach this far from your assumed value in null hypothesis? If this probability is high, it means that we were expecting this output if we assume that null hypothesis is true. So if this value is greater than alpha, you will accept h naught, and if this value is less than or equal to alpha, you will reject h naught. So we'll do one problem so that you understand everything nicely. I will do this question with both the classical approach and the p-value approach. So we have the average weight of all the residents in a town is 168 pounds. So somebody believes this. So this is status quo. A nutritionist believes the true mean to be different. So she believes that this is not true. She measured the weight of 36 individuals and found the mean to be 169.5 pounds. Assuming the population standard deviation is 3.9. So question is, at 95% confidence level, is there enough evidence to discard the null hypothesis? So this is our question. So let us see how we can do it with the classical approach. So let me write down the classical approach here. If nothing is mentioned, you can use any approach. So the first step is we'll state the null hypothesis, which is mu is equal to 168, and your alternative hypothesis, which is mu is not equal to 168, right? And then your significance level, you are given 95% confidence level. So significance level is basically alpha. 1 minus alpha is 0.95. So that gives you alpha is equal to 0.05, right? So this is your significance level. And we know that 95% confidence interval for in this case your population standard deviation is known. Okay, for for mu is, you know this value, we already did it in the last chapter, mu bar x bar minus z alpha by 2 sigma by square root of n comma x bar plus z alpha by 2 sigma by square root of n, right? So if we find out this thing, right, so here this is a confidence level, or we can just say that if we if I assume my z to be x bar minus mu over sigma by square root of n, then this is a normal distribution, standard normal distribution. So this mean here is 0, and this is z alpha by 2, and this is z alpha by 2. So alpha is 0.05, so this is 0.025, and if I compute the value from the table, this is minus. So this is minus 1.96, and this value is 0.025, this is 1.96. Okay, so this, now you know that this is this inside here is your acceptance region. So basically this interval is your acceptance interval, and this interval here, let me mark in green, this and this is your critical region, means you will reject your null hypothesis here, critical region. So this is what you are going to do in your classical approach. Fine. So this was your step 2. Now in step 3, you will calculate your sample statistics. So let us find out what are the things given to us. N is 36 x bar is 169.5 and s is 3 sigma is 3.9. Okay, so we know that our statistics z will be, this is our sample statistics. So this is x bar minus mu over sigma by square root of n. X bar is 169.5, mu is your 168 upon 3.9 over square root of 36. So this value is 2.31. Now you can see that this value is more than 1.96. So this fourth step is, since the statistics value from last step belongs to critical region, therefore we reject h naught, and we write it like this: we reject h naught in favor of h1. Does that make sense? So you see what is happening here, that your data is not supporting your hypothesis, this. So whatever your data is, this data here is not supporting your hypothesis. It means that on the basis of the sample which you got, you reject your null hypothesis. So now let us do the same problem with the p-value approach. So you see now here in classical approach you get intervals. One interval is this, one interval is maybe like this, union of this interval and this interval. So you can see where your value is lying. If it is in the acceptance region, you'll say we accept the null hypothesis. If it is in the rejected critical region, you'll say that we reject the null hypothesis. Now if you look at the p-value approach, step 1 is same. Your h naught is mu is equal to 168. h1 is mu is not equal to 168. Step 2 is your alpha is 0.05 given. Okay, alpha is 0.05 given. Here you don't need to calculate anything else. Step 3 is you are going to take your sample. Your sample here is again n is equal to 36, x bar is equal to 169.5 and sigma is equal to 3.9. Okay, so now what you have to do, you have to basically find out what is this probability, right? If you look at this, this value, the corresponding z value is, we just saw it was 2.31. okay, so the corresponding z value is 2.31. So it means that you were expecting 0 to be your mean, okay, but you are here at 2.31. okay, so you want to see that, so this was, we were expecting this thing, that x bar minus mu over sigma by square root of n should be normally distributed if h naught is true. H naught true means I'll replace this with 168. So here I found the same parameter, 169.5 minus 168 over sigma is 3.9 divided by square root of 36. So this value is 2.31. So I was, if I assume that h naught is true, what is the probability that I can reach this far, this away from the actual mean? So that probability will be this area, this region plus this region. So that will be, now p value will be, what is this? This is telling you what is the probability, that you should be 2.31 away from 0. Okay, so that is twice the area of shader region. So that is equal to twice area of shaded region is this. This is 1 minus p. This will be 1 minus p, that z is less than is equal to 2.31. Fine. Twice, we'll be doing it twice. Is that okay? Right. So this will be 2 into, you will get this value from table. So this is 1 minus 0.98956. So this is 0.02088. Now this p value is less than 0.05. Therefore, we reject H naught. Because you see what is happening, that you get a probability of getting the sample which you are getting to be less than your significance level, 0.05. Therefore, you reject your null hypothesis in favor of H1. So the idea is, in this situation, your claim is not, supported by what you are collecting from data. This is your data, right? So that is the idea. And these are the two approaches. We'll be doing more problems. Okay. Thank you.